On January 15, 1919, a wave of molasses swept through Boston's North End, moving faster than a person could run. In this video, I use modern AI tools to bring historic photographs to life and transport you to Boston in the winter of 1919. What you're about to see is an industrial disaster that defied belief. Boston's North End in early 1919 was one of the city's most densely populated areas, over 200 people per acre. Most residents were immigrants. Italian families dominated the neighborhood, while Irish and Jewish communities filled adjacent blocks. The district sat along the harbor, where warehouses lined Commercial Street and ships unloaded cargo daily. The air mixed the smells of fish, coal smoke, and a strange industrial sweetness. That sweetness came from molasses. The Purity Distilling Company operated a massive storage tank on Commercial Street, a steel structure standing 50 feet tall with a 90-foot diameter, holding 2.3 million gallons of molasses. The tank was built in 1915. Over 6 months, workers simply riveted steel plates together without any engineering inspection of the design. The company put it into operation immediately after construction was complete. Molasses arrived on ships from the Caribbean, and Purity Distilling fermented it into industrial alcohol for munitions factories. World War I had created enormous demand for this product. Residents complained about the smell and noticed leaks from the rivets. Brown streaks marked the tank's exterior, and children collected dripping molasses in cans. The company simply painted the tank brown to hide the stains. One engineer warned management about the problem. He was ignored. January 15th turned out unusually warm. The temperature reached 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 degrees above normal for January. The molasses inside the tank began to expand from the heat. At 12:30 p.m., workers heard groaning metal. The tank's rivets started popping one after another. The sound resembled machine gun fire. At 12:40 p.m., the tank burst. 2.3 million gallons of molasses exploded outward. A wave 25 feet high rushed down the street at 35 miles per hour, humming 13,000 tons of viscous mass. The wave struck the supports of the Boston Elevated Railway. The steel structure collapsed instantly. A train had passed just minutes earlier. Buildings on Commercial Street bore the brunt of the impact. Wooden structures were crushed, brick walls crumbled, basements filled in seconds. The fire station stood just 50 feet from the tank. The wave destroyed it completely. Firefighters were swept away by the flood, and building fragments floated in the brown mass. People in the streets didn't even have time to react. The wave moved too fast. Molasses spread 3 feet deep across 2 blocks, instantly burying some victims and pinning others against walls. This substance behaved completely differently than water. Sticky and dense, it held people in place. Those who fell couldn't stand. Molasses flowed into mouths and noses. After the wave passed, the temperature dropped quickly, and the molasses began to harden, making rescue attempts exponentially more difficult. Workers from nearby factories rushed to help, pulling survivors from the viscous mass. Many were unconscious, some had suffocated, others sustained severe crushing injuries. 21 people died. The youngest victim was 8 years old, the oldest 78. Most died from suffocation or trauma. Over 150 people were injured, broken bones, burns from the friction of the wave. Many spent weeks in hospitals. The Boston Police Department arrived within minutes. Officers waded through waist-deep molasses searching for trapped victims, but the substance made movement nearly impossible. Horses were brought in to assist with the rescue operation, but the animals became stuck immediately. Several had to be shot. Their bodies remained visible in the molasses for days. Cleanup began the next morning. Harbor water was pumped in to dilute the molasses, creating a sticky brown mixture that flowed back into Boston Harbor. Salt water helped dissolve the substance, and workers used it to wash the streets, but the process stretched over 6 months. Every surface in the north end remained sticky. The smell persisted for decades. On hot days, residents continued to smell the sweet aroma of molasses absorbed into wood and brick. Some claimed they could still detect it even in the 1980s. The investigation revealed a cascade of critical failures. The tank's walls were too thin, and the high-sulfur steel was brittle. The company knew about the defects. Internal documents confirmed complaints about the leaks. Engineers had warned management, but the company prioritized production over safety. No repairs were ever made. The lawsuit lasted 5 years. The victims' families won their case against Purity Distilling. The company paid $628,000 in damages, equivalent to roughly $11 million today. The disaster permanently changed building regulations. Massachusetts enacted new safety requirements, making tank inspections mandatory and requiring engineer approval for all industrial structures. The North End rebuilt quickly. New buildings replaced the destroyed ones, the elevated railway was repaired within months, and Commercial Street returned to operation. But the neighborhood remembered. Survivors passed down stories through generations. The event became part of local memory, and children grew up hearing tales of the day molasses flooded their streets. Today, a small plaque marks the location. The elevated railway is long gone, modern buildings occupy the site, but on hot summer days, some residents still claim they can smell it. The molasses that killed 21 people and forever changed industrial safety.